episode of Future Talks, series conducted by Prayaana. My name is Isha and I'm your host for the evening. I would like to warmly welcome all the viewers to this session. Now let's have a look at Prayaana organization, which is a unique employability, entrepreneurship and innovation ecosystem for women. Prayaana Labs give wholesome career support services right from career counseling, training, mentoring, and recruitment services under one umbrella. You can also check us at www.prayaana.org. Are you a student, a working woman, or a woman who wants to resume her career after a long break? Or do you just want to upgrade your skills? Then Prayaana is the right platform for you. It's a community hub where you can share your thoughts, ideas, and network with women of similar interest. We also provide membership programs and learning modules with international and well acclaimed mentors. So check our app on Play Store, which is called Prayaana, and visit our website www.prayaana.in. Prayaana Collective or Pracol is India's first e-commerce platform that is dedicated to the empowerment of women. The platform is uniquely designed with an attractive affiliate marketing model where all the customers are given an opportunity for lifetime savings and earnings. Check us out on www.pracol.com. Here's how you can actively interact in today's session. You can post your queries at the live chat in our YouTube channel. The queries will be shared to the guest live and answered. During this pandemic, it was common for us to hear words from people to hope for positivity and to believe in the changes. Well, how many of them could sit with us and talk about this? This evening, we'll have live interaction with the speaker of the session, Ms. Alphonso Sebastian, who is a program manager at Nielsen. Let's have a look at Ms. Alphonso's profile. Ms. Alphonse is an engineer who works at Nielsen in the Cochin office, and she has 13 years of industry experience. She completed her BTech in Electronics and Communication from LBS College of Engineering, Kasargod, in 2005. She is happily settled in Kakarnad. She had to take career breaks twice, on which ma'am is going to elaborate now. Over to you, ma'am. I'll stop the screen share.
Thank you, Isha. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me share my screen. Isha, can you please confirm if you can see my screen?
Yes, ma'am, I can see your screen.
Okay. Thank you, Prayaana. Thank you for this opportunity. And thank you, listeners. So here, I'm going to share my experience when I had to take this career break and when I decided to come back. What did I go through? And in my experience, what could be few things that you all can try when you actually attempt to come back to work. So, okay, let me start. Okay, so before getting into the topic, Isha gave a brief introduction of myself. So let me give you a little bit more about myself. Like I'm settled in Kakinad with my husband and 2 kids. Boys, elder one is in 7th grade, the younger one is in kindergarten. And I work for Nielsen as a program manager. And in my job, what I have to do is manage an end-to-end deliverable from the start to end, from the inception to the delivery, making sure everything is going smooth, removing the impediments and, basically program manage something that that our company wants. So that's what I do, and that's who I am. And now to my experience on what happens when you are in a career break, right? There are several reasons why you have to do a career break. That's personal in nature, so we don't have to get to that. But when you come back, when you decide to come back, right, there are so many things. and you would feel like you are alone in this journey, right? But guess what? You're not really alone. There are, let's look at the statistics, right? In India, the statistics is per India. So there are 36 percentage of working women who have taken a career break once or twice in their lifetime. And then the fact is, their career break, they might be taking it like knowingly or unknowingly for short time or long term, but 91 percentage out of them, they want to come back. So this struggle that you're facing is not something that you are going through alone. There are so many who are actually going through this stuff. And like me, there are many who might have faced it like, multiple times for one or the other reasons. Okay. So before getting into, what we can do, what's the first thing that you should do, right? Let me talk about like, what happened with the first career break of mine. So after my college graduation, I got campus placed into L&T Infotech, and I was working, and then, like I got married, and, I got my first kid. So that was like within the 2 years plus few months of my career. So what happened was, my husband got an on-site opportunity in US, and then he decided to travel, and he actually traveled. And then I was actually pregnant at that time, and then I started my maternity leave. My kid came, and uh, we started thinking like, what, my husband is in US, my work is in Bangalore, I was in at my hometown with my parents when my kid was born. So we really didn't think that I have much options. So we thought, okay, let me extend my maternity leave, join my husband, and see what happens, and then either come back, join, or all of that, like several options, but none of it like finalized. But we thought, okay, uh, I decided to travel to my husband's place. And anyway, I had to take care of my kid. So um okay, weeks passed, months passed, and then but I couldn't get my extension anymore, so I had to resign. Then we thought, okay, let's see when it happens. Anyway, my husband's reputation was getting extended one after the other, so it became like a long term too. So and the kid is also growing, right? Like 1 year he was like like I was like totally into this motherhood, he was totally dependent on me. So I had like I didn't have much time to think about this career break. Then slowly he became like independent, like as any of you mothers knows that they will do their own things their own time. So I started getting my own time, and then I realized, okay, what do I do, right? Like I have taken a break, and similar to Facebook, what we had that time was Orkut, and I can see my friends chatting, they are working, and I felt like, okay, in all my life, I really wanted to do was to be a working person, working women, and to be financially independent and all of that. And now I am not even thinking about going back to work. We never had that conversation with I never had that conversation with my husband. And I started feeling this emptiness. So I knew I had to go back. I had to go back to work, but I didn't know how, because I was in US. All my friends are either in like Bangalore, or in somewhere in India, because that's my experience level right that time. So I was not ready, but I started building up this frustration, like what's next? I mean, how would I get a job? Would I ever get a job? And I don't even know what to do, because I had only 2.5 years of experience, and that too. So this would be like specific to the engineering who has engineering background, they will follow me here. My experience was split between multiple things in that 2.5 years, like development experience, manual testing, automation testing. So you can say that I know something, but I'm not really like fully efficient, or maybe you can say like an expert in anything. So that was one of my frustration, because I wasn't confident about what I will be doing, or I wasn't even confident that anyone should actually hire me at that point. So I knew, okay, this is not going well, and the frustration started. And but at least my husband was very supportive, so he was like okay in me actually big continuing the break, or going back to work. He was there to fully support, uh, but we didn't know exactly what to do. So the first step was actually to understand how can I work there. So this may not be really applicable to all of you, but if you are in a different place, then first thing you have to do is like, are you authorized to work? If you are not, then think about those things, right? Like if you're, just make sure yourself, like let's get all the documents ready and, like get everything that will enable you to actually work. So I got my EAD, which is needed to work in US. So that was the first step. So some time went and then I got that. Okay, I got it. Now next what, right? And then, I heard, so usually what the people do, like, just go to monster.com, naukri.com, whatever, and then, see if you have opportunities. So I started looking at things and that some things, when I look at the job description itself, I know that, okay, I don't think I understand this, or maybe I'm not efficient, I don't think I will clear. So all of these questions popped up. So I was like, applying, but I myself was not really confident, like, whether I would get in there or not. And then when you have kids, what you do is like, you go out so that, your kids have some play dates, you interact with moms, in your equal experience. So I started talking to my mom, I mean my mom circle friends, and then they gave me some, like, like referrals to some of their friends who had this experience, and I started talking. So I made a network, like, I started talking, and then I understood, several people had like, did several things, like for some, just applying through these so these portals were good enough, they got a call, but some it wasn't, so they actually seek help from consultants. So consultants are someone, like, who, especially for career break, I have seen that this is much effective because they know where to look, what the market is, so they can help you with a lot, like understanding what your strengths are. They will ask you a lot of questions too, right? Like, what exactly you want, so you will be like, able to like prepare yourself, saying, okay, maybe this is what I want, and they will also help you with that journey. So what I did is, okay, I went to this consultant nearby to my place that time, and that person actually helped me, like, one, the first and foremost thing that person helped me to is like, stop juggling between things. Okay, fix onto one thing, which one you better. Okay, you have three skills that you have mentioned here, which one do you want to focus mentally, which one do you like best? Then I had to, like, think through, and then I decided, okay, maybe testing, because I felt it's something that I liked, or it was easy, or I was more comfortable. Maybe for a break, that's good. So I thought, okay, maybe this one, and also the fact that there's like more job opportunities in that area at that time. So what next, right? So again this job hunt is going on, times are passing, weeks, months. So then again in my circle, they say, okay, there are a couple of certification options, this is easy, this is really good, you have to just learn, but it's good, but you have to spend some time. So one of the certification courses, one of my friends suggested, it was ASTQB CTFL, it's for Certified Tester Foundation level certification, which I thought, okay, let me try too. So it was actually, from my experience, that certification was, it actually was really good for my career break, because I started learning. Because even if when I read and learned myself, I might not have stressed this much when you had to go through a certification course. So it pushes you really hard, because you're spending money for the certifications. You would definitely put your heart and soul into that, and then you will learn a lot more. So my confidence level in a graph, maybe it was, maybe like from a scale of 1 to 5, maybe it was like 1, and with this certification it jumped straight for 3 or 4 points, I can say, because now I understand what this means, and I was automatically ready to attend the interview questions. So again, started applying, right? One thing I did is I changed my resume to reflect my most relevant experience, right? I didn't have all of this written, my most relevant experience. I looked at the job description they wanted, made sure, a couple of points added here and there, which actually was called out in my resume. So I got a call, and then, I would say that, I mean, I'll not say that it's all because of my credit or anything, but luckily I got the right call from a job which was like, everything good, like near to my place, and the yeah and this role, the description that they want. So I was like, okay, I can do that. I was comfortable. So yeah, and I did the interview. I was able to explain my career break, and all of that. And my interviewer, my first manager in that company, so she was okay because she was able to understand what I'm going through, and she was impressed with all the diverse, like whatever you had in resume, she was asking, and she felt like I was able to answer that, and I think she felt I could connect, and then yeah, there. I also felt good after the interview, so you can say. Um, so it worked, right? Whatever it was, like that long journey, it came to an end, and I was offered the job. So that's about my first career break, right? It's lots of frustrations. Ultimately it works out, but there are a couple of things that I learned, and I think I have documented this in my couple of slides coming, and you would see, like, what we can do structurally, what that can be. So first, assess your situation. Are you really ready? What that means is, like, think about your situation, right? There could be one situation that forced you to take a break. Is it still there, or have you moved past that? Do you have the family support? If you have kids, do you have an alternative arrangement that you can do when you go back to work? So prepare yourself mentally, because when you are on a break and when you're working, the the ment the physical and mental challenges, it's a little different. I have gone through twice, so I can definitely say that, just be flexible, right? Like, there's something that you will have to let go when you start working, because you would have been, like, doing some things in a particular order at home, but it may not happen once you start working. So definitely start preparing yourself, right? Okay, there's going to be a huge change in your life now, so please prepare yourself, your family. So just don't overdo stuff, okay? Please don't overdo that. Just 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 take first few steps, and then analyze your options. That's what I was talking about. What were you doing before your career break? You were doing something, right? Did you enjoy it? Do you think that's what you want to do? Well and good. Then that's your first pass. Where do you have to look, and what's your next step? You don't really love it? Then think about the next options, right? Like, what could be the next thing that you can do? So think of, like, list your options. It's not just one. For sure, I can guarantee you. So just think about that. And depending on that, what comes, right? You don't have to, like, pinpoint it to just one. Have multiple options ready, maybe in high priority or something. That's up to you, but have some options, and then analyze the market situation based on that. Okay, for your I can relate more to engineering field, so I can say, like, testing, development, Java, Angular, all of that, right? Like, just think, I mean, if you're proficient in all four, suppose, and you look at the market trend, right, and you will definitely know which one is the hot thing in the market. So arrange yourself, right? Like, okay, this is what it is, then I will start with that. That's what you'll do when you analyze your market situation. And definitely be aware of your constraints, right? Like, for example, for IT, yeah, it could be a boom in Bangalore, but if you are in Cochin and you have a location constraint, that's not going to help, right? So just imagine, like, how much flexible are you location wise? Are you okay, like, in and around Kochi or in around Kerala, or are you okay in traveling, or are you okay in, like, think of those, like, what are the constraints, the timing constraints? When I say that, just think about, like, is it a full-time job you're interested in, part-time, or is it a first shift, second shift? It depends on you, right? If your partner is working in a different shift, you might have a preference, so that your work life balance is much better. So all of that, like, I've just listed three, but there could be, like, different constraints based on the type of work you would be having. So think about that too, and think about situations wherein it could get difficult, and think about some solutions. Work it out with your partner, with your family, kids, depending on that. So this is the first and foremost thing you will have to do. It will not happen just, like, one day, you sit and do, but it's a gradual process. Like, think about this, all of this. I try to structure it based on what I felt. So first thing done, you assess your situation. Now you know where you are, right? What's the next thing you should do? Ta-da, that's what, update your CV. So based on the market situation and based on what you want to get to, update your CV. Don't clutter your CV with everything, okay? Just to the relevant, to what. So one question I have um, heard multiple times in my career is like, is it okay in having multiple resumes for yourself? It's definitely okay. Because if in my team there is an opening for a particular skill set, I get two resumes. One resume having just this, just focusing on this skill set, and the other resume having tons of things and just one line for this skill set. Just imagine which one would I be interested in. I would definitely go with what I really want, right? So just make sure you clean up your CV with what kind of job you want and with what kind of, for what kind of role you are applying to. So that's your CV thing. Okay, first and foremost, upskill yourself, like, right, like you now decided where to go to, so upskill yourself. Just like one example I said in my experience was, I thought testing was one way to go. So what the next thing I did was I took a certification. So when you try that, definitely it's a boost, right, in your confidence. So be knowledgeable, do some training, some certifications. Up to you, like, your situations. Depending on what you can do, just do that. Readings, like there are a lot of online courses you can go to. Do that. You will definitely see that, you will, your graph on confidence is going to boost. Convert your break into confidence. It's easier said than done, but a couple of things you follow, you will definitely feel like you are into the game. Just one thing you need to understand is soft skills are as important as technical skill set. So when you boost all your technical skill set, brush up on your soft skills too, right? When I say soft skills, it's like it varies from job to job, but from an engineering or IT background, it's more importantly like, communication skills. um, yeah, mostly it's communication skills, like, how you can communicate to the point, language, your body language, all of that, right? Like, these all helps in the first barrier in your job hunt, that's the interview process, right? So just actually read through those through, like your soft skills, like, how the interactions and all of that. um, and be creative, right? Like, so how do you talk to others also about your skill set, and you will find that you are boosting yourself into that. So um, read a lot, or talk to others a lot, follow forums, follow any job portals that you are following. So all of this will definitely give you a great deal of confidence. Evaluate yourself, right? Like, okay, now at this moment where you are, and this is your market opportunity, like, okay, are you at par? There might be a couple of lines you're not following. Okay, then yeah, it's time for me to upskill myself. Okay, so this is a circle, right? And then you upskilled yourself. What do you need to do next? Update your CV. So this is a circle, so do that. So some for some it's like, easy, right? Like you maybe the career break is easy, but for some like me, it took like years. I know friends who are actually, taking long breaks. So it's very different from people to people. So this is something that you will have to do multiple times, not just once for some, maybe for just once for some. So this is really needed. You cannot get away with it. And you cannot have a CV just based on your past experience. You have to upskill yourself. As the break increases, you have to upskill more and more and then update your CV. Very important. Okay. Moving on to next. This is something that I touched upon, was build confidence, right? So, so before getting into this, I will talk about my second career break. So that was when we decided to come back from US to here, Kochi. Uh, so my husband got the transfer, and it was ready. So the funny thing was, we decided to move like in around an April timeframe. So I resigned. So I don't know how many of you knows this IT culture, wherein when there is like a project preference, like, they will get, they will get you extended. You're not, I mean, even if they said you can leave by April, it might get extended, right? So that's what happened with me too. I resigned, and then this contract got extended again. So that was again a frustrating period for me. So we had to stay there for another 6 months. So again, that's my 6 months break. So I thought, okay, well, how do I make the best out of it, right? I can't look for an opportunity there because I don't know how long I would be there. Maybe next month we'll have to come back. So I thought, okay, I'll start looking for a job from there in Cochin. Okay, so started same thing, right? Portals and all of that, and unlucky for me, none of my friends were in Cochin. Like everybody was either in Chennai, Bangalore, or any of these metropolitan cities. No one in Kochi, so no referrals, nothing. So what I started doing is, like, understand. I mean, like, whenever I talk to people, started understanding. Okay, these are the many companies in Cochin, like, TCS, Wipro. Those are the ones that I heard of, right? Like, so there were like a couple of companies like EY. So made sure, like, I get proper connects with someone or the other from these companies, so that when the right opportunity comes, I know who to call. So that is one thing that I did. I started making connections, and the other one was, like, updating resume. I updated resume and started applying. You would think with your experience, you're gonna get calls, right? None, zero, not even one reply for any of my applies. So one thing I learned from my first career break was, to be patient. So that's what I learned, and I started applying. Even though I was getting frustrated, I knew I have to calm myself, because that's what best for my family. Otherwise, it's like, only thing that's going to happen is my husband and myself is going to fight. So I didn't want that. So I console myself saying, okay, it's going to take time, so be patient. I'm going to enjoy my career break this time. So anyway, so that we came back after 6 months here. So I had other priorities. Then I had to settle my elder son. It's a very big shift, right? So he had to join the new school, so made sure he's like settled. So I had to do a lot of things, like settle our home. So for the first 2 months here, I didn't have the time to think about the break, or get back to work thing, right? So I was totally focusing on that. I got that ready. So everything settled, right, in a 2 months time frame. My son started going to school, and now again, i got I got my frustrations back. Okay, what to do, right? I am free. I don't have what to do. Is it gonna be like permanent? Am I going to be out of work for long? So that situation was happening. I was still trying, but I had this fear, right? Since I'm not getting any replies and all. So sometimes in a career break, luck also has a huge factor in it. This is where I'm going to tell you the story about the luck that I had. So one day, myself and my husband, like, went for lunch in a very nearby hotel, like not fancy or anything, like just a casual visit to one of the nearby hotels for lunch. So there was uh, my husband, one of my husband's friends, right? Like, not like very close friends, but they were like, they knew each other, like, very years back when they're in school. So they talked, and it was like, okay, we invited him to join for our lunch. And then we were talking, and then we realized he was working with one of the companies in Cochin before, and he's actually moved out to some other place. And he said, okay, we shared, this is what it is. So I made sure, like, wherever I go, I would tell, okay, I'm looking for a job, so that I put my word out. So that's one thing I always do. I encourage you also to do that, because when we don't know when the right opportunity will come. So what my husband's friend did was, like, asked us to send our resume to him, and he will forward. And he did. And luck, that's what luck was, right? I mean, we didn't know him for a long time, and we just met him. And then he was, like, in a good position in this company. And then when he forwarded my resume, they took it very seriously. And then the right opportunity came along, they called me for an interview. And luckily the interview also went well. And then, since I was on a break, I was able to join within a week. So that's what my second career break was. So factor of luck also into that. But still, that's about my second career break. So let me explain how to, few tips on how to build confidence. First time for my career break, I don't know why, but I had this, like, I felt like I was, maybe I wasn't, maybe, like skilled enough. That's why I couldn't manage both, right? Being a mother and being and working. So I was a little bit ashamed of my break. But my experience, I'm telling you, please don't. If you do that, it will delay your coming back to work opportunity. So please don't be ashamed of your break. Only thing you have to do is plan yourself, like, how you will explain your break to others, right? Meaning, especially in an interview, definitely that would be one of your question, I can guarantee you. So just explain why. So make it like a point, like, this is why, and this so and so happened, and now I can come back to work, because the interviewer definitely wants to know, why do you think you can come back to work? So just be ready with that answer. And to build confidence, other thing is, think about the future. How, where do you see yourself? That in itself will give you that urge to, learn yourself, and, like, that will be a huge push. And get updated about your job industry. Definitely take some certifications, courses. Your confidence graph is going to boost for sure. Reskill yourself. Do a SWOT analysis. This is something I know technical, but I found it very useful in various places. SWOT here, what it means is, S stands for strength, W for weakness, O for opportunities, and T for threat. So what are your strength, core strength areas? What your weakness? What are your opportunities? What's your threat at the given point of time? Analyze it, convert your weakness to strength, convert your threat to opportunities, and there you go. You will definitely feel like you know what's next. So try to do that. It helps even in your work life. Okay, when if you, after you go to work, you might find yourself in a stressful situation. Analyze yourself, learn where you have to grow, right? Identify that gap. You do it yourself. You don't want anybody else to do it for you, because you know yourself the best. So do that. That's one suggestion I will have. Then get your job hunting skills ready, right? Like CV, understand which portals is best for you. For most of the IT, I know we now follow LinkedIn, Naukri, all of that. So for your job, which is the portal that works best, right? Understand that. Get all these informations ready. So this also I touched upon, right? This is very, very important. Build a network. Use your existing connections, right? Talk to your friends. Talk to your ex-colleagues. Where are they? Like, reconnect with them and make new connections. So if you, when you attend a course, you will find maybe somebody else did it. So you will know that some new connections coming up. So keep that connections going. Use relevant social media, and most importantly, spread the word that you are looking for a job. Sometimes people may not realize you are, and some good opportunities might have passed up. So definitely spread the word. Let them know that you are actually looking for a job change. So this definitely will help, I'm sure. So if you, I know for sure you will be all doing that, but in case if you're not, just think through this. And if you're doing a little bit, please expand it. Try to do like lots of social connections, right? Forums, like, get yourself connected to the right groups for the right job that you want. So that's basically about the preparations. So I'm sure you will land an interview. I did, so I know for sure you will too. So what you have to definitely do for an interview is like, I don't want to like get you tense, but this is one place we can't screw up, right? So you have to be ready. Ready in the sense, um, be prepared, like you are so confident, it's no place that you just walk in and do it. No, be prepared with your resume. You know what is written, the job description they want. So first and foremost thing you do is just think about what the interviewer wants. So I have taken many interviews in my career, so I know what I look for in the people, right? So it's just 30 minutes or max 1 hour. that we get with that candidate, and we have to take that call whether that person is good for our fit. So definitely two things. We will look at, like, how this um, um, the body language, the soft skills, the communication, and the technical skills, that all of this plays a role. But most important thing that I would look is, like, how is this person interacting, right? Soft skills matters a lot, because depending on the experience level. So if you are a junior, right, then definitely I would, like, I will not even impart a lot into the technical skill set. I'll just think, like, are you like a hardworking person? Can you learn? Are you open to learning? And what are your soft skills like? Are you authoritative? Are you, like, a team player? So all of this is what I will be looking for. And the second factor, right? If you have somebody working in that company, that really helps, because I know my one of my friend, and that friend says, okay, you are a good candidate, you are a good fit. You know what that does to me? I feel like, okay, a huge lot of weight is shifted out of me, because I feel, okay, I know this guy works, so if he's saying the other person is good, then definitely I'm going to give him a chance. So I'm saying connections, right? Even if you go for an interview, just see if you can connect somewhere around, and see, like, if you can find someone or the other in that company, so that you can put a good word to. That will definitely help. So okay, so think about what interviewer wants. Mostly, just the company, understand that company, what it wants. If you could, like, learn a little bit about what that is, it would definitely help. So CV is what they will base your questions on, because there is nothing else. Whatever you have written on CV, that's the only common thing between an interviewer and you. So they will definitely ask you all of that. And if they feel like you're not confident in one of answering in any of them, they will start second guessing. So understand what you have written in your CV, right? It should be like an autobiography. So a question you asked, you should definitely know it, because it's what you are. So that's how you should be prepared well to answer your career break questions, as I said before, right? That's definitely a one question that you would get for sure. Then explain your passion, drive, and focus. So um, you will know after 5 minutes or 10 minutes that how this is going, right? If you feel like your interviewer is not engaged much, you should be able to make sure, like, refocus it by explaining your passion, why you think this is important for you, why you think, you are a good fit. Explain some past experience you had, connect it with this. Try to connect with that interviewer, right? And do some practice interviews, okay? Like, maybe ask your partner, or someone to actually help you do that, like, because many a times practicing it actually makes it, like, okay, I can do it. It give you the confidence. Also the communication part, right? The flow of words, expressions. Like, sometimes you are too expressive, that may not sit well, right? You can actually correct yourself. I know this interview, it's just 30 minutes thing, but sadly that's how you get screened, right? So you have to put a lot of effort into this to be prepared to take such an interview in the first place. So yeah, so all of the questions, like, and you get tons of information from internet, like, especially with the type of job you're applying, you will get, like, what are the questions. Believe it or not, even the interviewer searches for interview questions, right? So that's how they even start. So only thing is, they don't know what the answer is going to be. So confidence matters. And also, like, don't lie. Because if they feel like, okay, you lied, right? Like, for example, if you answering to something which you are not sure of, but you're, like, saying something for the sake of it, if the interviewer gets it, that will not sit well. So be confident. If you don't know something, be confident enough to say that, okay, I don't know that. That's okay. Yeah, but be prepared. So all of the general questions, behavioral questions, all of that, be prepared for all of that. So this is very important step in your process, in your back to work process. So let me just summarize. I don't know how I'm doing with the time. The struggle is real, but you will have to definitely ride the wave, right? So there are many who've been there in your position. They have passed this, they got a break, so will you. Okay, believe in yourself, you will get through this. So just to nutshell, be relevant, upskill yourself, be confident, make connections as much as possible. That's the first and foremost thing. And ready to impress with all your soul and might. Yep, with this I'm concluding. Thank you so much for this. Isha, back to you.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. Can you stop sharing the screen?
Yes.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, Isha.
Okay. Wow, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing your experience, wisdom, and inspiring people around you. We have a few questions posted in the YouTube comment section and from our viewers, and we
Sure.
have selected some questions from them. It would be wonderful if you could answer those.
I'll try, Isha. I'll try. Yeah.
So, as you're an engineer, and as I'm also pursuing engineering,
Yeah.
what are your advice for some people who are pursuing the course or are in their final years?
Okay. So, couple of things I mentioned is totally applicable, right? Like be relevant. The job market. Like what are the for freshers? It's totally different how they apply, right? You have different forums, you have campus placement, all of that, right? And also think about what you really want, right? For example, I am actually from an electronics and communications background, and for it was a career. I mean, it was like totally a shift for me when I moved to IT. So for you, depending on your passion, before you step to a different vocation, just think about what you really want, right? If you want to really continue in what you learned, then look out for that opportunity before you jump to the first thing that you see. That's the only thing that I would advise, but everything else is available for you, right? Look around, have your ears peer. It's the information is everywhere. Be very relevant, and then don't miss any opportunities. Even if like it's an interview opportunity which you don't are not liking, I would say please attend, because that's an experience. So be always open. Yeah, and get ready, like you don't know when the right opportunity comes. And I think for freshers, what I would say is like aptitude skills is a must. So brush up on that, right? Like that's one thing that you can actually practice and be very good at. So do that. And yeah, talk to people, and search and understand your job industry. That's all you need to do.
Yes, ma'am, I understand. Thank you so much. So, the second question is how to be grateful and stay positive when most of the situations are going against us.
Okay, so that's a very good question, but I don't really know how good an answer I can give. But what I think, Isha, is like this happens to all of us, right? Like, and even if I say to you, Isha, like you have to be very positive, it's not gonna work, right? You yourself have to understand that this is just a phase. It will pass. You know, good times are coming. So just think about in the past, like what happened to you, right? Maybe there are so many bad things happened, but when right now, is that even relevant for you at this moment? Not many are relevant, right? You might not even remember. I can say from my experience, like my job struggle, for an example, I know I went through like a lot of bad situations, like like very hard time for me. And now when I recollect that with my husband, he might say, okay, I don't even remember that. I was like, okay, that's it. So we forget, like this past, this too shall pass is a very good term, right? Like that will
Mhm.
pass. So only thing that you have to be doing is like be open, right? Like just be open to say that maybe anything can happen. If it's bad, okay, just be open to actually accept that. That's more than enough. That's what I did with my second career break. I knew that it wasn't working for me, but I decided I'm not going to make my life suffer for that, or my, my family life. I thought, okay, I'll enjoy that break. That's what I did the second time. So I think what you have to do is, like, just think about your family and what's best, and say that, what's actually positive for all of us at this moment. It may not be what you really wanted, but think about how you can actually stay positive. That's all you can do. I mean, nobody else can help you, give you an advice, but think through yourself, understand, and then, you prepare yourself, your mind. That's all we can do. Sorry, Isha, it's very philosophical answer. I don't know how else I can answer
No,
that.
ma'am, it's totally fine. It's a good answer. Okay, so the next question is, why do people say believe in change when they are not sure if it's going to be a positive or a negative change?
Okay, so this is a common saying in our office, and also I think in every industry, I guess. Change is the only constant thing that can happen in life. That means is, right, even in our career or anything, right? One thing for sure I know: tomorrow is going to be different from today, for sure. So um, in my career, I mean, I'm in Nielsen for the past 8 years, right? I started in one role, and now I'm in a totally different role. If you ask me, did I even anticipate this change? No way, right? I might be thinking something else. But if you look at that, all these changes, it gave me an opportunity. I learned myself. I have grown myself, kind of transformed, you can say, right? So when you, in one of the trainings that I attended, right, it was actually interesting. What they said was, some of the words that you use, right, it can have a positive or a negative impact. So word transformation is what we generally use in our IT industry to indicate change, right? When we want to change a process, we are saying we are transforming into this culture, something like that. So in this training, what they said is, like, transformation is mostly connected with metamorphosis. If you know what metamorphosis in terms of a butterfly's life cycle, it's a painful process. So what that guide, it was Michael Hota, he explained is, like, since it's a painful thing, that is why people have a resistance towards that. So try using different terminology, like growth. Everybody likes growth in any regard. Everybody likes growth. Use that. So when you, so I'm suggesting is, like, when there is a change, right, consider this as an opportunity, as a growth opportunity, and give the benefit of doubt that, it is going to turn out good, and try it. Be open. It would work out for you. It may not work out like you wanted, but it will work out definitely for you. And it could be, like, way more beneficial than you ever thought, right? So but give it a chance. That's what I would suggest in my experience.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. Thank you, viewers, for posting these questions. Okay.
Thank
You
you,
can
Isha.
also, no, ma'am, just one sec. Um, you can also share your feedback for this session to our YouTube channel as a comment. For advertisements or sponsorships, mail us at joinprayana@gmail.com. I would again like to thank you, ma'am, for being such a wonderful guest in our show. Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Have
you,
a good
ma'am.
day, all. Bye bye.
Bye.